All right, so basically, very hard for people to tune in when we're in the middle of a sugya where there's been, well, at least a month before today. So, okay, so it doesn't really matter because today we learn about this part of the Gemara. So just give us a quick summary of the words. What did we see today? And where are we? Chagigah 15a.
Chagigah 15a. And yeah, so as you say, we've done this for a month already, but it doesn't matter because each day is fresh and each day is unique and each day is got its own lesson. So the beauty of this approach is we can tap in any day, any part of the sugya, and we'll get something from it.
Okay.
So we learned today that Acher, who is this very questionable and difficult to understand character, he's teaching us how Rebi Akiva learned a verse in Kohelet, in Ecclesiastes. So Acher is telling us, or is actually telling Rebi Meir, how Rebi Meir's Rebi Akiva learned the verse from the book of Kohelet. And the verse says, Gam et zeh, leumat zeh, asa ha'elokim. Also this, corresponding to this, made God, did God make. Made, did God, God made, right? Also this, corresponding to this, God made. And he says, Rebi Akiva, Rabcha, lo amar kach. Rebi Akiva, your teacher, didn't say what you said. And that whatever he said, we won't go on to now. That was yesterday's news. We learned it yesterday. But whatever it is, your teacher, Rebi Akiva, said something else. He's interpreting the verse like this. Elo, this is how he interpreted the verse. Bara tzadikim, bara reshoim. He created the righteous and he created the wicked. That seems to be, remember, we're trying to learn the verse. Also this, corresponding to this, God made. So what's the this? And what's the this? It's the tzadikim, the righteous. Okay, so the first zel umat zeh, this corresponding to this is the righteous and the wicked. And then he continues and he says, Bara Gan Eden, Bara Gehenim, he created paradise and he created hell.
So basically, it's all feeding back into that verse, the zeh and zeh, and our questions in our shir. Well, what's this zeh and zeh, this and this? It seems like this Elisha ben Avuya, who the Gemara calls Acher, he's questioning how can the zeh and zeh be from the same source? Is that what he's saying? Shouldn't it be zeh vezot or zeh vehu, this and that? So that's where he's questioning. Again, we're not sure, I'm certainly not sure exactly where he's coming from. I have him down as a bit of a troublemaker. Obviously, there's more to him than that, but I'll admit I'm not quite clear with this guy. I don't know who he is just yet. He's an interesting guy, but today, so he's quoting Rebi Akiva. He's quoting Rebi Meir's teacher back to Rebi Meir, which is again an interesting move. So what does Rebi Akiva say?
So Rebi Akiva says, isn't it fascinating that there's two kinds of zehs? They both zehs, they both this and this. And you know why they're both this and this? Because they actually could be the same thing, but they're not the same thing, because one's a this guy who takes, and there's a this guy who gives. There's a this guy who is in it for himself, and there's this guy who's in it for other. And the greatness of the verse is they both call this. They both call this because they are essentially the same this, but they two thises, because this gets it right, and this same guy gets it wrong. There's the this who's the tzaddik, and there's this who's the rosha. And what is the definition of a tzaddik? Is a person who is in it for giving, and the other person who's in it for the take.
What's interesting about this from a understanding God point of view is that a person might have thought that there's no way from God's point of view that these two people can be looked at the same. What do people think about themselves? Oh, I'm such a terrible person. I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm bad. God must hate me. They always look at, because we're trying to understand who Hashem is more from our human experience perspective. We need to clear up who God is, because most people don't understand who Hashem is. Correct? Would you say? They probably got a rather childish idea of the Creator. So what do you think this Gemara comes along using 𝗍 v'zeh? What does that tell you about what we should think about Hashem, vis-a-vis what He thinks about us, people?
We are all essentially the same. We are all essentially the same. We get this message that God created the human being as one. Adam was one human being. You know, people like to think of it as a metaphysical or a metaphorical, what do you call it, fable, that there was this
Superman, yeah, like a Superman.
Yeah, a conceptual man. Well, there was one bloke. There was one bloke called man, and we're all the same. We all come from one bloke called man. The same 𝗍. You, me, we're all 𝗍. What do you want to do with your 𝗍? There's 𝗍 and there's 𝗍. There's this bloke and there's this bloke. But there's this bloke and there's this bloke. God says you're all capable of being the same bloke. But what do you see yourself as? Are you a tzaddik or are you a rosha? And talking about that, I've got to contribute. I've got a patient coming in 2 minutes. If I don't get myself ready, I'm going to be in trouble. So I'm going to try and be a bit of a contributor. I'm going to 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗓.
Very good. We'll carry on tomorrow, please, God. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Love you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Love you too. Bye.